Welcome back, part 2, installing a switch for the mine cabooses at the northern end of Vermilion Yard. Here we see our switches installed, placed in a piece of flex track, got all 3 of the mine cabooses out there. And here's what we're going to do on this video. You can see I put in a couple of tacks through the PC ties to give the switch some more stabilization. We are going to cut the wood ties to length, even them out using a Dremel tool. I'll add some more ties in there. We will add a switch throw, and we'll add some drop feeders to power up the track. Got a nice piece of Pico Streamline Code 83, my favorite type of flex track. And right down here, we'll add a Kadee non-delayed magnet so we can run hands-free up here on the Split Rock Mining Company. So enjoy the video here. I got my battery-powered Dremel tool here. We'll be using a regular cutoff disc and, of course, some eye protection to chop off these wooden ties to the correct length. Now that the ties are cut, I've put in drop feeders, drilled the holes and soldered them. Didn't have to show you that. I think everybody knows how to do that. It's not too exciting. But when you have PC ties, you can solder right to the tie, and that will power your rails instead of trying to get all that solder on the rails. Here you can see I added a second gap. So now we're going to work on the track. We got our Pico Code 83 flex track, my favorite new flex track. And we have the Kadee number 312 non-delayed magnet. I talked about these in my video, the 10-minute tips number 3, how to do hands-free operation. And what we're going to do is find a placement for that and remove the ties. This sits down into the ties, not on top. Usually I have to remove about 8 ties, shift them down, and then we'll solder in the caboose track with the rail joiner. So we want to make sure that's sitting flush. We want to make sure that's correct, and we'll have everything ready to go. Here's our flex track with the middle ties removed. We removed 8 of them. Kind of broke on top here, but I saved that piece. We'll glue it back in. There you go, a couple extra ties. And then we have our 312 magnet that will fit right in there perfectly when we put it on the layout. Time to solder the rails to the caboose track and to 5 track in the Vermilion Yard and down to the lead at the other end of the switch. We had painted rails, so we used our old handy wire brush to clean up the ends of that. With our rails all soldered and powered up, we'll test it. We tested it with our Micromark acrylic car. We smoothed out the rails. We found any pieces of glue that were astray. Used my Fast Tracks files and other ones to file the joint smooth so the wheels weren't picking anything. And now we'll give her a try with our C424 and a couple cabooses. We'll use our magnet here. So we'll bring her back and we'll tie onto the cabooses, and we will attempt to uncouple just one that we need and take it with us. And 424 rolls right over that switch, still powered onto the tracks. Makes our joint, and we'll pull ahead and get that Kadee 312 non-delayed magnet between caboose 7 and caboose 8. And there we have it. We'll put a little slack in there, that Kadee magic. And then we'll pull ahead. And there you go. We're all uncoupled. And now we'll pull her past the switch. We will line it for 5-track. And we will test our new switch moving south and give it a shove to make sure everything's working 100% here. It's always good to test this out before we put in the switch throws, and it rolls right through those points and over the frog. Very smooth, like it was built there in the first place. Now we'll pull it back ahead, and we'll throw the points, and we will put caboose 8 back into the caboose track, coupling it on into 7, and using that Kadee non-delayed magnet to separate the engine and caboose so the crew can go on their way. Here we go, flowing right over that frog. Nice and smooth, going to make an easy joint here. And you can make a joint on these uncoupling magnets. That's the neat part. So now I have the switch throw installed. I just got to clean it up. Here's the dowel rod pushed in. It's for normal route, which is for track 5. And when I pull it, you can see that it lines up for the caboose track when I pull that dowel rod. I'll show you that in another video. The last issue I had to overcome was this drop feed right here. Now this went to my frog juicer. Down here you'll see I have a hex frog juicer. And the power coming in, the red and black wires on the left, were attached to the PC tie, but the PC tie was loose. So the reason my 424 could keep chugging, of course, because it has Soundtrack's current keepers in them. But now everything's hooked up and it rolls like a dream. That's the end of this video. Hope you liked. Click subscribe and send me some comments, good, bad, or indifference. It gets lonely up here in the Superior National Forest of northern Minnesota. Thanks, guys.